Hi there, welcome back to ET Now. A very good afternoon. This is me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ashesha joining us. Today you're watching us on Market Fatafat, a show where we'll discuss all the top buzzers that are buzzing in trade today, either on the back of news flow or on the back of technicals. But before that, a quick look at how markets are faring. Ashesha, a very positive day coming in. In fact, it's the second day that we are seeing a positive trend this week. Not major swings here and there, but at least we're holding above that 24,850 mark.
Indeed, Nifty is sustaining above that 24,850 mark, but Nifty Bank continues to remain under pressure today. In fact, Nifty Bank is underperforming in trade, down marginally though, but despite that continues to bleed. In fact, it's absolutely flat as we speak. It has recovered marginally. We have Infosys up 4.5%, the biggest gainer on the Nifty 50 index. Wipro is also holding up with gains of nearly 2.5%. Dr. Reddy's, Tech Mahindra, Adani Ports, all of them gaining anywhere between 2 to 3% in trade today. In terms of individual sectors, PSU banking stocks are laggards in trade today. We have Maharashtra Bank, that one is down 1.5% in an otherwise strong market. We have Indian Overseas Bank, Union Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank, all of them reeling under pressure in trade today. But let's get started with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. From the research desk, we have Rabinder as always. And on the technical side, we are now joined by Osho Krishan, Chief Manager, Derivative and Technical Research at Angel One. So Kanishka, let's get started.
Absolutely. So let's get started. The first stock that I have picked up is HUDCO. Now, the State-Owned Housing and Urban Development Corporation, that is HUDCO, says that it has signed an MOU with Nagpur Metropolitan Region Development Authority, that is NMRDA. In Mumbai, it says that the non-binding MOU that aims to create a collaborative partnership between these two entities to support land acquisition, housing and infrastructure as well, infrastructure development in the Nagpur Metropolitan Region. In fact, under the agreement, HUDCO will explore funding up to 11,300 crore rupees over a period of 5 years. These funds will be used for key development projects, while HUDCO will also provide consultancy services and capacity building initiatives to NMRDA's emerging needs. So that's the reason why HUDCO is in focus. However, not trading or reacting all that positively. It's down just about 0.3% at that 216 odd level.
Fundamental news piece surrounding HUDCO, but Osho, you've also picked up this counter, and on the technicals, where do you see the stock headed after the kind of decline that we have seen today?
Very good afternoon, firstly to all of you. We're looking at the technical perspective of HUDCO, then as we have seen in today's trading session, it has lost its higher movement from the zone of 220 and now has slipped towards the zone of 216. But overall, there has been a kind of a very strong consolidation around the zone of 215 to 210 kind of a levels. So currently, looking at the recent developments in HUDCO, I expect that the counter has seen a kind of a strong base formation for itself. And in the coming days, we can see some kind of decent respite in this counter. So I expect that one can definitely eye for a target of nearly 228 to 230 in this counter. While on the lower end, 210 to 212 will be seen as a very strong support zone for the counter. So even for short-term traders, one can look for buying opportunity for a target of nearly 15 to 18 points from current levels.
Okay, so that's the fundamental and technical view coming in on HUDCO, but let's also put the spotlight on PCBL Chemical and some important commentary that came in from the management yesterday from their analyst meet, because of which the stock is in focus today. In fact, it is eyeing 16,000 crores revenue and 5-fold increase in profit after tax by FY30. In fact, it is also aiming to boost profitability by as much as 50% across its segment range over the next 5 years. And the company is also planning expansion in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh to focus on battery chemicals and specialty black capacity as well. It is also investing in next generation chemicals and sustainability initiatives to drive long-term value. So that's some important commentary that came in from the management. 5-fold increase in profitability and 16,000 crores of revenue by FY30. So PCBL Chemical in focus on the back of this.
That's right. So PCBL Chemical in focus on the back of that strong management commentary coming in. But moving on to the next counter, Osho, you've picked out Granules India for us. What do you see on the charts? In just the past month, the stock has seen a very good uptick of nearly 19%. Do you expect this momentum to continue?
See, overall, the whole pharma and healthcare space is gaining decent traction in the recent period. And coming to the technical perspective of Granules, then after a very long period, the counter have surge above the 200, the simple moving average. And also, as you mentioned, that the counter have gained nearly 20% in the recent period and has formed a kind of a technically flat pattern on the daily time frame chart. So I expect that once the counter can see some kind of sustenance above the zone of 525, then from those levels, there is a high potential for the counter to test the zone of 560 in the coming period. So I expect that there can be a decent surge in the counter, and even on the lower end, 500 will be seen as a very strong support base for granules. So one can look for buying opportunity in the counter for target price of 560.
Okay, so that's Granules India for you, but let's also put the spotlight on RailTel then. Rabinder, the stock is flying high on the back of an order win.
Well, as PSC stock RailTel Corporation of India is in focus, where the Bihar Education Project Council awarded the contract, and the company has received total 5 contracts from the Bihar Education Council, and the total value of the order is 714 crore. And the project involved digital learning solutions in Bihar schools, smart classroom and ICT labs will be installed, and teaching material will also be supplied. And the project are expected to completed by 2025 and 2026. And one of the major contracts include approximately rupees 262 crore, which involves the procurement, supply, installation and installation of smart classroom at the government middle school. So back of this order win, RailTel Corporation of India is in focus, and the stock is up with more than 4%.
Okay, so that's RailTel. But moving on to the next counter, Ashesha, you've picked out CESC for us. What's the news flow here?
Well, yes, again on the back of management meet, and management continues to remain very positive when it comes to the outlook for the company. In fact, as far as their Vision 2030 is concerned, management is targeting 15% increase in profit after tax on a CAGR basis every year for the next 5 years. Management also reiterated their strategic focus on expanding renewable and distribution businesses, and the company has guided for a capex of about 30,000 crores that the company will be investing in the company over the next 5 years, 15% PAT CAGR, and the potential catalysts continue to remain in company's favor, including wins in upcoming UP Discom tenders and securing PPAs for renewable assets. So on the back of this, in fact, Antique has come out with a report where they are maintaining their buy stance in the stock. 203 is the target price, but very positive commentary that came in from the management with respect to their vision for 2030 and the outlook for the next 5 years. The stock holding up with gains of nearly 1.5% on the back of this.
Absolutely. So CESC holding up with gains of 1% on the back of their Vision 2030. But moving on to the next counter, Osho, you've picked out Adani Ports for us. This one again has seen a uptick of 20% in the past 6 months and is continuing to do well. Do you expect more side to come up in the next 6 months as well? Any targets that you can give us?
See, for Adani Ports, the counter have seen a very strong consolidation in the past 5 to 6 trading weeks. It was hovering around the zone of 1300 and 1320. But with the development from yesterday, we have seen that there is a kind of a consolidation breakout in the counter, followed by or accompanied by sloping trendline breakout on the daily time frame chart. So I expect that looking at the recent developments and the kind of increase in tradable volumes for last 2 trading sessions, there is a potential in this counter to test the zone of 1400 on a very immediate basis. So 1400 will be the first target for short-term traders, and if it breaches the zone of 1400, then we can see nearly 1440 to 1445 in the next leg of rally. So overall, I am expecting a decent run of approximately 100 points from the current market price in Adani Ports.
So Adani Ports in focus on the back of that chart. Check 1400 is the next level that you could track in the short term. But moving on and shifting focus to the power sector, Tata Power is also in focus today after its MD outlined big plans for the EV charging business. In fact, in a conversation with ET Now, they said that they already operate 5,400 public EV chargers and plan to expand this network to 10,000 in the coming years. Around 1.5 lakh home chargers have also been installed. And very importantly, Tata Power says that 90 to 95% of these chargers will run on renewable energy, and that aligns with its green push as well. Now, expansion of charging hubs will be need-based and usage-driven. That's the word coming from the management. And the focus will be on fast charging solutions for EV users. So that's the word coming from Tata Power, holding it's absolutely flat as we speak at that 383 level.
So that's Tata Power for you, but let's also put the spotlight on a whole host of other Aditya Birla Group stocks then. Rabinder, Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, I believe Morgan Stanley has come out with a report.
Well, it's Aditya Birla Fashion Retail and Aditya Birla Lifestyle brand. Both the stock is in focus after Morgan Stanley has come out with the note on Aditya Birla Fashion Retail. They have upgraded the stock to overweight and hike target price to rupees 131 as compared to earlier target price of rupees 98. They said that the company is at a cusp of improving fundamental and they see opportunity for the valuation re-rating. And for they have also come out with a note on the Aditya Birla Lifestyle brand where they have initiated a coverage on the stock with overweight rating at target price of rupees 175. They say that their view is a defensive discretionary play and good mix of core lifestyle brands and younger brands that offer upside potential to the growth for the company. And they Morgan Stanley expect to company to deliver a 10% revenue CAGR over FY25 to 28, and they see gradual improvement in its margin and return profile. So back of this positive note from Morgan Stanley, both Aditya Birla Fashion Retail and Aditya Birla Lifestyle brand both is in focus, and the stock is up for Aditya Birla Fashion stock is up 1.5% and Aditya Birla Lifestyle brand stock is up 4%.
Alright, so those are the lifestyle stocks in focus from the Aditya Birla Group. But moving on to the next counter, Osho, you've also picked out AB Capital for us. Now, this stock again has seen a stellar run in at least the past 6 months. It's given a return of nearly 84%. Going forward in the next 6 months, do you expect that similar kind of up move, or could we see some kind of consolidation?
See, overall, this counter has seen very strong outperformance from all the relative companies, but overall, the technical setup still looks very robust on the daily time frame chart. So, the short-term moving average, the 20-21 day exponential moving average, have cushioned any kind of profit booking in the counter. So, looking forward, I expect that any kind of dip towards the zone of 275 or 80 can be argued very well for the buyers, while on the higher end, the first or very immediate target is placed around the zone of 310. But once it crosses the zone of 310, then we can see a bounce towards the zone of 335, but that on a gradual basis, not to become very aggressive at current levels because the risk reward won't be very much favorable. But overall, the technical setup looks very robust and one should look for buying opportunity in the counter.
Okay, so that's Aditya Birla Capital for you, but let's also put the spotlight on First Source Solutions. Again, here management commentary that continues to remain very positive. Remember, the company has been reporting sustainable industry-leading growth, but management has also expressed increased confidence in the business outlook going forward, driven by strong deal momentum and healthy pipeline visibility for the current fiscal. In fact, Antique has come out with a report on the back of this management meet where they are maintaining their buy stance on the stock with a target price of 420. Management also reiterated confidence of achieving revenue guidance of 13 to 15% for FY26 and margin guidance in the range of 11.25% to 12% for the current fiscal. So management guidance for revenue and margin expansion continues to remain on track, and brokerage houses continue to remain very positive. Antique, with a buy rating and a target price of 420, the stock is holding up with gains of nearly 2% on the back of this.
Alright, so First Source up nearly 2%. But moving on to the next counter, Osho, you've picked out IDFC First Bank. Initially the stock was in a volatile mode, but if you take a look at the past 6-month performance, it's actually gained nearly 30%. So what kind of move are we expecting going forward into the year?
See, again, in the recent period, the counter was into a very strong consolidation. Approximately 4 to 5 weeks, the counter has been hovering around the zone of 68 to 70 kind of a zone. But from the last week, there has been very positive traction in the counter and has given a kind of a consolidation breakout on the weekly as well as daily time frame chart. So I expect that the kind of momentum the counter is in, there is a high potential for the counter to test the zone or retest the zone of 78 in the short term period, while on the lower end 70 will be the zone which can cushion any kind of lift that can be seen in the coming future. So one can look for buying opportunity. The risk reward is very much favorable. On the higher end 78 will be the immediate target, while on the lower end any dip towards 70 can be seen as a buying opportunity for the counter.
Alright, so risk reward in the favor, and 78 is the short-term target, and you could look at buying at the dips to the levels of 70s. That's the word coming in. But moving on to the next counter that is buzzing in trade today, that's Glenmark Pharma. Now, this counter is in focus after its subsidiary received a massive $700 million upfront payment from AbbVie. Now, this payment is part of a global licensing deal for IGI's lead blood cancer drug, that is ISB 2001. This covers major markets like North America, Europe, Japan, and also Greater China. Now, Glenmark is also eligible for up to $1.2 billion in milestone payments and will earn tiered double-digit royalties on sales. Meanwhile, Glenmark will retain commercialization rights in emerging markets, including Asia, Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East for this particular drug. And that's the reason why the stock is in focus, trading nearly 3% higher as we speak.
Okay, so that's Glenmark Pharma for you, but let's keep it going with the healthcare space then. Laurus Labs, Osho, where do you see the stock headed? And technically, how is the stock looking like?
See, overall, the counter has seen a very strong consolidation breakout, and there has been a gradual up movement in the counter because the counter was already into uptrend and there has been a time-wise corrective phase for the stock. But I expect that looking at the overall setup and the potential for the consumer base of this counter, I expect that 945 to 950 can be seen on an immediate basis or short-term perspective, while on the lower end, dips could be seen as a buying opportunity, although one can look for buying opportunity at current levels also. But 870, 880 will be an apt zone to start accumulating the share, while on the lower end, as the counter is into a higher highs, higher lows formation, so 840 should be seen as the stop loss for any kind of short-term trades in this.
All right, so those are the levels to track for Laurus Labs. But with that, that's the last stock that we are tracking for today. Thank you, Ravinder and Osho, for joining us and taking us through all the buzzers that are trading are in the spotlight today. On that note, we'll let you go. All right, then moving on in an exclusive conversation with ET now, Apollo Hospitals MD shares her expansion outlook over the next few years. Let's listen into an excerpt of that exclusive conversation.
We really believe there is a strong structural demand for quality healthcare. We are setting up 3,000 beds in the next 2 years. 1,500 in the next 2 years. Then we consolidate the growth from these 1,500 beds that we're setting up. Following that, in 29-30, we will set up another 1,500 beds. And with this, we'll have about 750 new beds coming up each year. Looking at a total capital outlay of currently of 6,000 crores for 3,000 beds.
That's the word coming in from the management of Apollo Hospitals. But on that note, we need to slip into a very short break. More news and updates will continue on the other side.